So Russell Brand went on Bill Maher's show the other day and absolutely destroyed MSNBC right to John Hillman's face, right to an MSNBC employee's face. And obviously it was glorious. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved the fact that not only was Russell Brand calling out CNN, MSNBC, but he was also calling out the other side in Fox News and all of the other right-wing networks, and also calling out the bigger corporations that are actually heading those networks, that are telling those networks what to say and where to go, like BlackRock and all of the other ones. People are scared to call those people out, man. People are scared to say BlackRock's name. I'm even scared. I'm even a little bit apprehensive about saying BlackRock's name on YouTube because it just has that feeling behind it whenever you say it, that if you say this, if you actually try to expose this, which a lot of people have exposed it now, there's a lot of other shadow figures in the back that are kind of pulling the strings that we're just not allowed to call out on YouTube because we know what will happen. Our videos will get taken down, our channels might get taken down, and other things might happen to us if you're as big as Russell Brand is. If you start calling these people out, things might happen to you in the real world. It has happened before. You might get debanked. You might not be able to use Airbnb or Uber like other people have. But anyway, Joe Rogan and Russell Brand have been calling this stuff out for a while. Here is a clip of Joe Rogan and Russell Brand calling out the truth, exposing the truth about the world. And I think the replies to this tweet are very telling as well. Let's check out this clip.
How can you have energy companies that profit when there's an energy crisis, military industrial complex that profits when it's a war, pharmaceutical companies that profit when there's a pandemic? You're creating the necessity for ongoing crisis.
Yes.
If the elites in the society benefit from situations that are detrimental to everybody else, that's what reality's going to become. That's what reality has become.
And that's true. That's 100% true. But one little fact that he leaves out is not only are these elites profiting off of things that are detrimental to the rest of society, but they also have the ability to pull the right strings to where these things are much more likely to happen, or at least they're seeming like they're happening. Like whenever it comes to like the pandemic stuff, whenever it comes to the jab stuff, all of that, they made it seem a lot worse than it actually was because it scared people into doing things that they wouldn't do normally. It scared people into buying things that they wouldn't normally buy at the rates that they were buying them, like the mask, like the, hand sanitizer, or, the jabs. It forced people into taking the jabs. And obviously by the time that the jabs actually came out, people were starting to wake up to the idea that all this is BS. So they had to force you in other ways where, you get fired if you don't take it, or you can't fly if you don't take it. You can't, hop countries if you don't take it. So not only are these elites profiting hugely off of these situations that are detrimental to the rest of society, but they also have the ability at the same time to pull the proper strings to get these things to happen. So it's a double whammy. It's a double jeopardy where not only are these people profiting greatly, but they're also making these things happen. Almost damn near forcing these things to happen, like World War III with the stuff that's happening in Ukraine, or, making things seem worse than they actually are, like the facade that was CV-19.
That's such an important point because that's almost undeniable. And to say that they wouldn't do that because they value human life and morals and ethics over profit, that's never been exhibited. That's not true. That's not a true statement. No, the opposite is true. The opposite is provable. The opposite.
Yeah, it is provable, and even more provable nowadays because we know that, with the Project Veritas stuff with Pfizer, we saw that a Pfizer employee came out and said that they're going to manipulate the virus to get worse. They're going to manipulate the human immune system to get worse at protecting itself against the virus because they want to be able to sell more jabs. Like, these people do not care about the well-being of humans at all. And they honestly couldn't even make it any more obvious than they do now. It seems like they don't even care anymore. They know that everybody knows that they don't care about their well-being. They know that everybody else knows in society, everyone with the brain anyway, can understand that the last few years have been lie after lie after lie in order to profit off of us. It's like we're just cattle, we're just sheep, and they're just hurting us into giving them more money and letting them launder it in other ways, in new, interesting ways. And they know that. It's like they don't even care anymore. They're putting it right in our face. It's like they're waving it in front of our face, just teasing us with it now.
It is provable whether it's Halliburton or whether it's pharmaceutical companies or whether it's politicians or bankers, the opposite has always been true. That we are profit driven, and especially if they can find some sort of way to justify these horrific acts, in some way, shape, or form, if they could have this diffusion of responsibility where it's not their call or not their fault, they're part of a corporation, the corporation has to do this, and this is just what we do. You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah, man, they have never in the past, and this has been, with declassified documents, with certain leaks that came out from certain people who are now banned from the United States, debanked everything that I was saying in the past. This has come out that they don't care. about American lives. They don't care about foreign lives. They don't care about innocent lives at all. They're willing to take lives. They're willing to torture people. They're willing to do whatever it takes in order to make money and gain more power. They've shown that over and over and over again. And I don't know why people think that it's any different now, but they definitely do. People still believe the government. They still believe that they have our best interest at mind. And it blows my mind, but people out there still need to be woken up. Russell Brand and Joe Rogan are honestly doing God's work, man. Like, these people still need to be woken up. And it's really good that people like Russell Brand and Joe Rogan are saying these things, because they're supposed to be leftist. They're not on like the conspiracy theory train. They're not on the far right conspiracy theory. You know, they're not in that category for most people out there. Maybe now they are. Because, you know, if you ever acknowledge the simple truths of the world, if you ever acknowledge what's actually happening right in front of your face, you're alt-right and stuff like that. But it's really good that Russell Brand and Joe Rogan, who are on the left for most issues, it's really good that they're calling this stuff out. Because, you know, it makes it more believable when somebody from the other side is saying the same thing. Like, hey, guys, we need to wake up here, because bad things are going to happen if we don't.
That's where we find ourselves. And the only way we're going to get out of this is if we, the collective, all of us, whether you're on the left or whether you're on the right, recognize this stupid game that people are playing. Recognize this hustle and don't get sucked into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people out there are thinking that the left and the right need to join together and we need to have a revolution. We need to revolutionize the political system, the political party system, whatever it is. But really, what I think we need to do is just stop playing the game. I'm not saying stop voting. Obviously, voting is important. But I'm saying we need to stop playing the game in terms of like obsessing over what side are you on. Because here's the problem. I'll try to explain this as short as possible. But what the left and the right don't care about is actually solving issues. They only care about the vessel that is used to solve the issue. So when it comes to the homeless problem, for example, they don't care about actually solving the homeless problem. They only care about if their solution is used to solve the homeless problem. So if the right came up with a surefire solution that would solve the homeless problem in the entire world, the left would say no. Even if it costs $0, if it had zero detrimental, you know, things that would happen, that would come from it, the left would say no, because it's not their vessel. They only care about the vessel that's used. They don't care about actually solving the problem. That's the game that we need to step away from and stop playing. But here's what I'm talking about. Isaac Latterell says, I don't believe a single word he says. The government is there to protect us. I trust our leaders. That's why I say that Joe Rogan and Russell Brand aren't leftist. Because I don't believe that anyone who is willing to absorb information and change their opinions are leftist anymore. These are leftists. Maybe Joe Rogan and Russell Brand are liberals, but they're not leftist. Isaac Latterell is a leftist. I don't believe a word he says. The government is there to protect us. I trust our leaders. Absolute idiot. How are you able to absorb everything that's happened in the last few years and tweet that and not be sarcastic? Weird how they didn't mention how conspiracy theorists and anti-veers make a profit from crisis. They do. They obviously do as well. The important part you're missing is that some of these people might be profiting, but you can bet your butt that the profits are nowhere near as big as the institutions they are discussing. They also don't have the powers that those bigger corporations, that those elites have to pull the right strings to make certain things happen. This is also very interesting. From 2020 to 2022, the world bought 928 billion masks at the cost of $389 billion. Insane numbers, man. And that's exactly what Russell Brand and Joe Rogan were talking about in that video. They're manipulating us to where we buy stuff like this that don't even work. They literally don't even work. And that's been proven over and over. I believe that's even, you know, admitted by the CDC at this point. These don't even work, dude. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the whole situation. What do you think about what Russell Brand and Joe Rogan have been having to say? Obviously, let me know what you think about Russell Brand going after MSNBC and all that as well on Bill Maher's show. If you saw that, if you haven't seen that, I posted a video on that yesterday. Go check that out. It's an awesome clip that happened only a couple of days ago. I thought it was really cool what Russell Brand had to say about MSNBC and all the other corporations. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation.